is the eDrive, the Innovation Challenge final pitch. Today is the day, guys. So what is eDrive? eDrive is a collaboration between the IDB Lab and the JPS Foundation to promote a sustained electric mobility ecosystem in Jamaica. So it's all about facilitating the development of an ecosystem that can support electric vehicles and all of the support systems, forward and backward linkages, everything, the entire deal. The main objectives of the project are to raise awareness about EVs, that's electric vehicles for you, to help create opportunities in the EV sector for small and medium-sized enterprises, to facilitate training and capacity building in electric mobility, and to support the implementation of EV charging infrastructure. And you know, charging stations are everywhere, courtesy of JPS and Evergo. So now the eDrive Innovation Challenge is a challenge that has captured the imagination of our participants. They came up with their business ideas around about electric mobility. We started off with 10 and we are down to 3. Unfortunately, one couldn't be here today, but we will see a video from him so as to represent him. And today's judges are President and CEO of Jamaica Energy Partners and Evergo, Wayne Mckenzie, and Chief Project Manager and Principal of Business Works, Andrea Livingston Prince. And so, without further ado, because we have had some ado, I now invite James Porteous to come and deliver his pitch, after which you will see a video, and then we will have questions from our esteemed judges. Please make Sir James welcome.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm James Porteous from Jamstar Motors, and for those of you who don't know me, allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is James to the JP. I'm going to convert your ICE to an EV. You know, that's from Jay-Z. So, gave you some lyrics there. I would like to welcome everybody to the future. The future is electric. And how we plan to go into the future is through this project called Project Sunrise. So welcome to Project Sunrise. I'm sure you're all buzzing to find out what is Project Sunrise. So Project Sunrise is me and my team converting, the better term we use is upcycling, a vehicle from internal combustion engine to electric. And here are some of the components that we'll use in the build. For all the engineers out there, this one's for you. For those of you who aren't engineers, this might seem like a bit of mumbo jumbo, but this is the heart of what we're doing. So here's a 3D model of what we plan to do. This is the chassis, the main frame of the Land Rover Defender. You have a high-low gear lock, and the beauty of our conversion is that you can change gears. You maintain the essence, the soul of the vehicle while it's electric. So, why did we choose to do this? And what does the market look like? Why did I get into this venture? In 2 words, huge potential. As you can see on the slide there, Jamaica and EV registrations around the world, Jamaica only has less than 1% of electric vehicles registered in the island currently. And with government mandates, as in most countries across the world, by 2030, 2035 in some instances, 2025, we'll no longer have ICE vehicles. There'll be a phasing out of it. So that means, people, there's a 99.99% market share, I should say. So that I can market to, or our company in per se. It is estimated that there are 10,000 vehicles that fit the classic car branding. So that means that there are 10,000 vehicles right now that I can market to, 10,000 potential customers, which is very good. Electric mobility is critical to energy security. JPS, this one's for you. We're looking at bidirectional charging. There's a potential for you to use your vehicle as energy storage. For those of you who have solar, you can use it in conjunction with this as a storage thing. Also, with net billing through JPS, you can actually sell your excess power back to JPS, which puts back money in your pocket while you're looking cool and saving the environment. So, with that said, that's the end of my presentation, and thank you very much for listening. Hi, I'm James Porteous from Electric Classic Cars JA. I'm an automotive technician, an environmentalist at heart, a tree hugger, and a classic car lover. How we came up with the idea? Well, we had this beautiful 1992 Land Rover Defender 110 here, and we thought to ourselves, how can we make it more dependable than it is? As much as it's one of the most sought after classics in the world, it has its flaws. It's not very dependable. So we thought to ourselves, how about we remove the internal combustion engine and replace it with an electric motor and power it with some batteries. Here at Electric Classic Cars JA, we breathe new life into classic cars by upcycling them from internal combustion engines to electric motors powered by batteries. Our customers are anyone who has a classic vehicle or a vehicle that they're passionate about, who wants to upcycle it from an internal combustion engine to a battery-powered electric motor. Someone who wants to make a difference in the environment, someone who is passionate about saving the environment, like myself, a tree hugger. Currently, we're in the research and development stage. By January of next year, or first quarter, we'll hope to have a fully functional proof of concept. Between first quarter and third quarter, we'll be doing testing, and it will be ready for market during September. By then, we'll be having vehicles readily available for sale or EV conversion kits to suit your vehicle. In year 2, we'll be fully profitable, and by year 3, we'll be where we want to be and be looking to expanding beyond our shores towards the Caribbean and Latin America.
Thank you very much for your presentation. We'll now take questions from our judges.
First, I'd like to congratulate you on creating this idea and for sticking to the process to get to this point. I know it can be frustrating and time-consuming. And I have a question about the market demand. So, for what we know of classic car owners, they are passionate about maintaining their vehicles in the same condition as the original design and function. Have you tested the market to see if they are prepared to adjust the operation of their vehicle by infusing e-mobility?
Thank you for your question. And it seems like you have a classic car. That question, how you gave it to me, am I correct?
In theory, I watch classic car shows and so on and so forth. So,
all right, so to your question, the beauty of our conversion is that it's totally reversible. So if you feel like tomorrow you're tired of driving it in as an EV, you put it back to where it was. And yes, your concern is genuine because we've also spoken to a couple of persons that I know personally who own classic vehicles. And they're excited at the prospect of saying, okay, increasing the lifespan of the vehicle, because at times the parts are actually very hard to find. And yes, most people are petrol heads that get into classic cars and they want to keep the original aesthetic, the original function. But as I said, the beauty of it is you can put it back to its original format without hassle.
So in terms of numbers, the market size you think would be around?
It was 10,000, so we're estimating that there's about 10,000 registered vehicles now currently that fit the moniker of classic cars. Plus there are unregistered vehicles that were probably deregistered that you can potentially. Having driven around the country, I've seen a lot myself just sitting in people's yards or maybe in a field. Actually, I've seen a Defender, sorry, it's hurtful, rotting away in a field. So.
Yeah, again, I agree with Andrea. I like the idea and the thought and the concept of what you're doing. But I'm on both sides. I love an EV, I drive one, but at the same time, I have a 67 bug and I'm not sure I want to change anything about it. So, well, looking at your Defender, if I'm going to, it was a very interesting vehicle. Well, your presentation, I'm not seeing the drivetrain from an electric perspective. I'm not seeing where the motors are anchored. I'm seeing the batteries. So I'm not sure I can understand how you gear shift it. It seems concept in mind to me. How you came to the conclusion of the battery that you're going to use or the torque converter that you want to use is going to give the same type of performance of a Land Rover Discovery.
With your question, I've achieved my goal because you're not going to be able to tell that this conversion, anything was done other than you looking underneath it. The drive performance will be the same. We will, where necessary, adjust the gear ratios because all we're doing is removing the engine part of it and mating it to its existing gearbox and bell housing. So you're not changing nothing anything at all other than that. So as I said, you keep the essence of it. You can go in high, low gear ratio if you want. You can shift from 1, 2, 3, 4 all the way to final drive in 5. So that's what it is.
My name is Nakeem Alistan, founder and CEO of LTech Company Limited, bringing innovation to life. This motor here is termed the radial flux motor. It has been the motor of choice for over 2 centuries. But this motor, it has its flaw. However, when electric mobility became a thing, the obvious choice for propelling this vehicle was this said motor, the radial flux motor. But what are the limitations that this motor has, especially in a booming industry as the electric mobility? This motor easily overheats. It has 80% efficiency, is very weighty and very bulky. However, those in the electric mobility sphere overlook this issue and go straight to what they deem the source of the problem, the battery bank. That cannot be the source of the issue. This, as the choice of the problem, actually further adds weight to our already weighty EV. Next, as anyone knows, the most expensive part of the EV is the battery bank. So it would further add more expense to the already expensive EV. What is the problem? The issue is the motor. Now, what is the solution or the substitution for this radial flux motor? The axial flux motor. Look at a comparison between both of them. What's the difference with the axial flux motor though? It is 4 times more powerful than the radial flux motor. It does not overheat. It's more than 50% lighter. It is half the size and over 96% more efficient. My ultimate goal is to give back to Jamaica. And this is where my heart is. To build mini EVs so that the man and the yen, you understand, can actually own a vehicle at the price of the yen. And to build aerial vehicle powered by this same axial motor in the future. But before we can get to all of that, we have to start here, building a better means of propelling these vehicles, the axial flux motor. So I ask you to join me on this journey to realize this dream. Thank you.
I can't believe this. I just can't believe this.
What is it you can't believe?
I can't believe they think the battery is the issue. It's obviously the motor. I can't believe do this?
I have no idea what you're talking about. And I want to know.
All right, let's talk some more on the outside.
By all means, I'm all ears.
Hi everyone, my name is Nakeem Elliston from the lovely parish of Westmoreland. I am a family man where I live with my wife and my 3 kids. I am a network and electronic engineer by profession. My company is Eltech Company Limited. We specializes in axial flux motor development. As you know, the electric vehicle mobility have been taking the market by storm. The radial flux motor, which have been used over 2 centuries, it is quite bulky, it is quite weighty, it actually produces only 80% of efficiency. So we saw the need to actually revolutionize the market. Our motor, termed the oxythrust motor, is a derivative of the axial flux motor. This motor is intelligent on its own. Reason being, it has its own sensors and have its own control system. It no longer depends on a common VFD to control all 4 motors. VFD, variable frequency drive, this is the brain of the motors, but instead, ours will have it built right into the motor. So things like ESC, things like anti-braking system, reversing, manipulation, anti-skid, all of these things will be done right in the heart of the motor. When I did my research, an average axial flux motor costs somewhere between $350 to $500. When we start out, we'll be looking to target 100 EVs. So 104 motors per vehicle, that's 400 units of motors. Multiply that by the 350 using it as a base figure, we end up with 140,000 US. We'll be partnering with Integrated Magnetics, so we'll pay them $150 per motor. That is, when we do the calculation, $60,000. Minus from the $140,000, we're left with a profit of $80,000 for just one shipment to one manufacturer for one type of vehicle. Imagine what we'll make in all our shipments. Eltech Company Limited, bringing innovation to life.
As it relates to the market, I didn't see any. I saw descriptions. We saw descriptions of your market, but numbers. We're called to assess your use of research methodologies, and it would be great if we had more numbers, the data, who you talk to, where are they found, how much, how many of them, what's likely, what's a possible pipeline, where is it coming from? So research is real and adds real value. Do you have any about the market itself? Can you see demand? So I know you've theorized demand, but can you assess the demand?
All right, so demand from the perspective of the aviation industry especially is pushing for a better motor, because they realize that if you increase the battery capacity, it adds more weight. That obviously is no problem, but they want to take to the sky, and taking to the sky is actually have to use things that are less weighty and more efficient, and that's where the revolution especially is pushing for a new motor. You understand? And because the axial flux motor is actually way lighter and can produce way more torque, they're actually pushing for a new motor, and this new motor so happens to be the axial flux motor. So if you go there right now and search for the new form of motor to actually help them to get to the sky, because everything is moving from gas. We're not talking about a helicopter that is propelled by gas, we're not talking about the plane that is propelled by fuel, we're talking about EV, and if we're talking about EV, it cannot be the radial flux motor, and they're looking for the axial flux motor, a better choice.
What I'm trying to understand is, because we're here and we're looking at e-mobility here, and a motor of multiple use. Well, what I would certainly have liked to see is how you plan to use your concept, your development to galvanize and integrate with the e-mobility space, and I'm not hearing that. I know you did a cutout drawing as to how it should work, but any motor will work that way as well, because that's essentially working. The battery, you connect the battery to a motor, and the motor to a axle, and the axle to a wheel. That's it. So, so it will work, but I'm not getting from you how your efficient motor will cause his Land Rover to be much better than whatever concept he has.
So two things I will address. I will address your first question about it not being intelligent. What makes us intelligent as human beings is our ability to sense and detect things around the environment. We internalize it, then we give an output upon that. All right? What is in our motors are sensors. That is what is going to be the input. You understand? They sense the environment. You have the Hall effect sensor, you have the magnetic sensor, you have the speed sensor, you have all of those sensors. And now we internalize it within the motor right there, because as I said, I will be adding the additional feature. That's the reason why, if you look at this prototype right here, it's like this is a controller and this is the motor. They talk to each other. All right? So the right here will make the decision. Sorry. Right here will make the decision and then give a desired output. So you know that I don't want to go into technical, but three-phase control the motor, and based on the signal you send at any point in time and whatever phase you send it in, it will control what the output would be. It's just as though we hear a question being asked, and depending on the question being asked, we give a desired output. Now, as to how would James 1 be better, is that he no longer have a drivetrain. He no longer have an axle. He can also go further range, because guess what? The motor will directly be installed within the wheel of the vehicle. All of those things, because we know that the more mechanical parts you have, the less power you will actually get out of that power bank. You understand? So if you can use the motor to actually eliminate most of those factors, it's a win. How can it not be a plus? And if it's not a win, then Yasa Motor Limited will only cease to exist. Renault will only cease to exist. And I know definitely Mercedes-Benz, as a reputable company, would never team up with Yasa Motor Limited if it was, there's no use for it. You understand? So I see it as a plus, and but the fact that Mercedes team up with Yasa, that speaks volume in and of itself.
Ferguson from Gizmo's Computer Support and Services. I'm a lover of sports and a real family man, here with mom and stepdad at home. I get the idea by working in St. Anne's Bay, and at the end of the day, coming home, sometimes it's a hassle to get a ride, right? So I'm thinking a bicycle could work, but then you have that steep hill that not gonna work. And so I decide, okay, let me start doing some research on how I can make a bicycle electric. And then I started doing a lot of reading and so on, and got my first motor, put together the first battery using used laptop cells. And it was a real experience getting everything to work. But from the outset, I knew that it was indeed possible to climb any hill with just a bicycle. Marketing the product is going to be through various avenues. The first that I'm looking at is the tourism industry, as tourists are already open to this idea and they'll be more than willing to ride a bike during their stay here. And of course, the second avenue is going to be the everyday man, because in this new age of electric mobility, we want to ensure that no one is left behind. And so I will be looking at existing bicycles that people have, as well as existing yang that might, break down, give in trouble, want to convert them to electric. There is a lot of potential for this business to be profitable, seeing that people will always need to move around. We don't certain of what the gas price will be tomorrow. And trust me, it's a lot of fun. Once you try it, will be good. One thing that Gizmo's Computer Support and Services will also try to present to potential customers is the ability to recharge with solar. I've been trying this just for a few weeks now, and it's amazing. You know, I have the potential just with 2 panels to recharge the bike in less than 2 hours if the sun is really shining, which it seems to be doing a lot these days. This first generation of bicycle will go up to, in a flat area, it will do between 40 to 50 kilometers with mixed riding. And of course, if you have a lot of hills to climb, then it will do closer to 20 or 30 kilometers. But this is just the first version. And again, we're really targeting a price where more people can afford. But features, any feature that you want in your bike, we can add it. If you notice, I install a proper horn on my bike, and the main reason for that is to really raise awareness. Just because you're on a bicycle don't mean that you're not a road user as well. If you're going around a sharp corner, you want whoever is coming around the corner to know that you're there. So just because you're on a bicycle, you don't need to feel unsafe. This is one of the best ways to get around. It's quiet, it's efficient, and once you make the investment, you start to see the returns on it right away. I would encourage anyone who is curious. I know a lot of you see me riding around. Just say, you know, just take my business card, or you know, and we can talk and make big things happen. Guarantee you guys will like it.
We would like to show some love and appreciation for our partners, our judges, our mentors. You took your time. The winner of the People's Choice Award, Princess Thompson. The 5th place winner, I-Power Dennis Eccleston. In 4th place, on the go Alexis Russell.
I feel like a proud mama up here. I've been with you guys since day 1. And I've seen you going through your journey, going through your challenges, and what some people in this room might not see, but we, the ones who have been here with you from the beginning, have seen your progress. And I am so proud of you. I am so proud of every single one of you. I want you all to know that you are all worthy of being here in this room. I like that I'm seeing shifts. We've given you guys so much advice, so much changes, and you guys have been making those changes. You have a way to go. As Andrea said, there's a lot more to this process, and you guys have a better appreciation for that now, don't you? But what's important is that you're here and that you've stuck to it and you continue to do it. And so I'm so proud. I'm sure everybody at JPS and IDB and the whole team is very proud of you, and I can't wait to see what you guys are going to do.
And so, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for staying with us to the end of this program. In 3rd place is the product that comes number 3. It is Electric Classic Cars Jam Star. Congratulations, James Porteous.
Well, guess where you're coming? You're coming into the Branson Centre 12-week. Journey with the Branson Centre to help you to move forward.
In the number 2 position, which means you'll be able to figure out the number 1 position, is the company that came second. It's LTech Company Limited with Nakeem Elliston. Which means that Matthew is number 1 with his electric bike. Wow, congratulations very, very much. We don't have a representative for him either, but we do recognize and congratulate him heartily on his victory as the #1, the winner, the top innovator in the eDrive Innovation Challenge, Matthew Ferguson of Gizmo's Computer Services